If someone had said in 1979 that this baby wouldn't survive even a single day, everyone would have believed it. If someone had said she would never smile, never love, never be loved, no one would have doubted that either. But what nobody could imagine was that this same child would one day change thousands of hearts. It was a cold winter morning. The hospital corridors were unusually quiet. The lights flickered softly. The sharp smell of alcohol and medicine filled the air. Inside the delivery room, a young woman named Aisha gripped the bedsheets tightly, her body shaking with pain. This was her first child. All her pregnancy tests had been normal. No warnings, no risks, no bad news. She had only dreams, tiny clothes, and hopes of holding a perfect baby. She had no idea her world was about to break apart. Then the baby cried, but it wasn't a normal cry. It was weak, thin, almost fragile. The room didn't fill with joy. It filled with silence. The nurse froze. The doctor looked away. The clock kept ticking loudly. Tick, 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 as if time itself had stopped breathing. "Where is my baby? Let me see her," Aisha whispered weakly. But no one moved. The staff exchanged nervous looks. Their hands trembled. Finally, the doctor spoke in a heavy voice. "I'm sorry, your daughter was born with a very rare condition." There was another long silence. Then the words came out, the words no mother should ever hear. "Your baby has no arms and no legs." Aisha felt her heart shatter. When they finally placed the baby near her, she looked so small, so fragile, wrapped in cloth bigger than her own body. Where her arms should have been, there were only soft little ends. Where her legs should have been, there was nothing. But what shocked Aisha the most wasn't what was missing. It was her eyes. Bright, clear, almost blue, alive, searching, as if the baby was looking for love. Aisha broke down crying, from fear, from guilt, from pain. What did I do wrong? Why my child? Why God? Why? In the corner of the room stood the father, Kashif. He couldn't even step forward. The shock was too heavy. He walked outside, leaned against the cold wall, slid down to the floor, and cried like a lost child. In the next few days, the news spread quickly. Doctors kept coming in and out. Some said, "She may not live long." Others said, "Her life will be full of suffering." Some even suggested, "Maybe it's better to leave her in an institution." Every word was like a knife. She didn't even have a name yet. Aisha avoided naming her because naming meant accepting the truth. At night, she would sit alone watching her baby struggle to breathe. Each breath felt like it could be the last. And in 1979, the world was not kind to children who were different. There was no social media, no support groups, no inclusion campaigns, only whispers, stares, and doors closing. Visitors came out of curiosity. They peeked and left quickly. Some said things that hurt more than helped. "God knows best. You're still young. You can try again." Each sentence stabbed her heart. But there was something strange, something no one could explain. Whenever Aisha touched her baby, she calmed down. Whenever Aisha cried, the baby made soft little sounds, as if answering her, as if saying, "Mom, I'm here. Don't give up on me." On the third night in the hospital, Aisha couldn't sleep. She walked slowly to the crib, touched her daughter's tiny face, and for the first time, she spoke with strength. "You will live, in your own way, but you will live." At that moment, a mother decided the world could be cruel, but her daughter would never grow up without love. The next morning, she finally chose a name, a simple name, but full of meaning: Noor, light in the darkness. And as she whispered it, tears fell on the baby's blanket. Got it, Assad. Here is part 2 of the story in English, continuing smoothly from part 1. Nothing skipped, same emotional depth, adapted from your uploaded file. When they were finally discharged from the hospital, there were no smiles, no balloons, no celebration, only long stares, cold air, and people staring. Aisha held little Noor very carefully in her arms, as if she were holding the most fragile treasure in the world. And she was. Some people looked away quickly. Some stared with pity. Some whispered. Aisha heard everything, but kept walking. The cold wind touched Noor's face. Her bright eyes opened slowly, reflecting the daylight. No one there could imagine that this tiny baby, the one everyone called impossible, was only beginning a journey that would one day inspire the world. The first months at home. Home was nothing like the hospital. There were no nurses, no machines, no doctors nearby. Only silence, long nights, and fear. Every breath Noor took, Aisha watched closely. Every small cough made her heart race. She was terrified that any moment could be the last. Taking care of Noor was incredibly difficult. Feeding her required patience. Bathing her required creativity. Holding her safely required constant care. There was no guidebook, no instructions, no one to teach her how to raise a child without arms and legs. In 1979, everything was trial and error. Many nights, Aisha would lock herself in the bathroom and cry quietly. She didn't want Noor to feel her fear. After crying, she would wash her face, force a smile, and return like nothing had happened, because her daughter deserved strength, not tears. The father's fear. Kashif worked long hours. He brought money home, he fulfilled his responsibilities, but emotionally, he stayed distant. Not because he didn't love Noor, but because he was afraid. Afraid of getting attached, afraid of losing her, afraid of breaking completely. At night, he sometimes stood near her crib and watched her sleep, quietly wondering, am I strong enough to be her father? The neighbors. Soon, everyone found out. Neighbors began talking. Some came pretending to care. Others just wanted to see the strange baby. Some even crossed the street to avoid looking. And then came the cruel words. Maybe it's punishment. Poor thing, better if she hadn't survived. How will she ever live normally? Each comment hit Aisha like a punch, but she stayed silent. Inside her heart, she made a promise. No matter what, I will protect my daughter, even though she knew she couldn't protect her from everything. The doctor's confirmation. When Noor turned 6 months old, the doctors finally confirmed the truth. There would be no surgeries, no miracle treatments, no new limbs. She would never have arms or legs, ever. The best they could do was help her breathing, posture, and body strength. The rest of her life would be full of adaptations, limitations, challenges. Aisha didn't cry in front of the doctors. She stayed calm, strong. But the moment she reached home, she hugged Noor tightly and broke down. She cried for the future that would never be, the dreams she had imagined, the life her daughter deserved. She cried until she had no tears left. But something strange happened. While Aisha was crying, Noor was calm. She made tiny sounds, soft little noises, almost like she was comforting her mother. Her bright eyes watched Aisha carefully. There was no fear in them, no sadness, only life, only presence. And that day, Aisha realized something important. Noor didn't know she was different. She didn't know the world would call her impossible. She simply existed, simply lived, simply breathed. Maybe the problem wasn't her daughter. Maybe the problem was the world. Tiny miracles. The years moved slowly, but every small achievement felt like a miracle. The first time Noor lifted her head properly, Aisha celebrated. The first time she rolled over on her own, Aisha cried tears of joy. The first time she made clear sounds, the house filled with hope. Each tiny step felt bigger than mountains. But life wasn't becoming easier. It was only preparing them for the next battle: school, society, and the cruel reality of the world outside. Years passed slowly. Little Noor grew older. Her smile grew brighter. Her eyes grew more curious. Her mind grew sharper every day. But the world outside their home wasn't ready for her. The school problem. When Noor reached school age, Aisha felt both excited and terrified. Every child deserves education. Every child deserves friends. Every child deserves a normal life. So one morning, Aisha dressed Noor carefully, kissed her forehead, and took her to the nearest school. Her heart was full of hope. Maybe, just maybe, people would understand. But hope didn't last long. The principal looked uncomfortable. He didn't even look at Noor properly. After a few minutes, he said, "I'm sorry, we don't have facilities for children like her." Children like her. Those words hurt more than anything. They tried another school, and another, and another. Each time, "We can't manage her. She needs special care. She'll slow other students down. Try somewhere else." Door after door closed. It felt like the world was pushing Noor away before she even got a chance. At one school, a staff member whispered something cruel. "That child will only hold the others back." Aisha heard it clearly. Her chest tightened. She wanted to scream, but instead, she quietly picked up her daughter and walked away. That evening, she sat on the sofa in silence, Noor beside her. The house felt heavier than ever. For the first time, Aisha thought, maybe this world really has no place for my child. Maybe she should stop trying. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe this fight was useless. And then, Noor laughed, a loud, pure, innocent laugh. The kind of laugh that knows nothing about rejection, nothing about cruelty, nothing about limits. Aisha looked at her daughter and realized something. The problem was never Noor. The problem was the world. The teacher who changed everything. After many days of searching, they found a small, simple school. Old building, basic classrooms, nothing special. But there was one special thing. A teacher named Mrs. Sarah. She didn't stare, she didn't pity, she didn't hesitate. She simply smiled and said, "Let's try. We'll learn together." No promises, no guarantees, just humanity. And sometimes that's enough. First day of school. Noor's first day was painful, very painful. Children stared openly. Some whispered, some laughed, some asked loudly, "Where are her arms? Why doesn't she have legs? Is she sick? Is she a robot?" Some were scared, some moved away, some pointed fingers. For the first time in her life, Noor felt different. Not just different, wrong. She stayed quiet all day, didn't talk much, didn't smile much. When she got home, she went straight to her bed. Aisha felt her heart breaking. That night, Noor asked a question that cut deep. "Mom, am I wrong?" Those 3 words shattered Aisha's soul. She knelt in front of Noor, held her face gently, and with a trembling but strong voice said, "No, my child, you are not wrong. You are rare, and the world still doesn't know how to understand rare things." Learning the impossible. From that day on, something changed inside Noor, a quiet strength, a silent fire. If the world wouldn't adjust for her, she would adapt herself. She began learning things in ways no one imagined. She held pencils with her mouth and torso. She learned to write, slowly, painfully, letter by letter. But she did it. She learned to paint. She learned to read on her own. She learned to turn pages, to balance herself, to move independently. Every small success shocked people. Teachers stared in disbelief. Classmates watched with wide eyes. Some began to admire her. Some still doubted. But Noor kept going. Still, not every day was strong. Some days she came home crying. Some days she asked, "Why did God make me like this? Why can't I be normal? Why me?" Aisha never had perfect answers. She simply hugged her and said, "Life isn't fair, but you are stronger than life." The fathers change. Slowly, Kashif changed too. He started helping Noor with homework, started talking more, laughing more, spending time with her. One day, he watched her write her name alone for the first time, and quietly, he cried. He realized something painful. He had wasted years being afraid of loving too much, when all Noor ever needed was love. But childhood was ending, and a new storm was coming. Teenage years, loneliness, self-doubt, and questions that cut even deeper. Childhood slowly faded away, and before Noor even realized it, she entered her teenage years. But growing up wasn't exciting for her. It wasn't colorful. It wasn't carefree. It was heavy, very heavy. Watching others live. At school, everything started changing. The other girls talked about new dresses, makeup, parties, crushes, boys who liked them, dances, dreams about the future. Laughter filled the hallways. Life felt fast and bright for everyone else. But for Noor, it felt like she was standing still, watching life through a window, not living it. While her classmates worried about hairstyles, Noor worried about something much deeper. Will anyone ever see me as normal? Will anyone ever love me? Will I always be the girl people feel sorry for? Sometimes she felt invisible, not hated, not loved, just unseen. And somehow, that hurt even more. The mirror. One evening, she looked at herself in the mirror for a long time, not with fear, not with anger, but with sadness. She didn't hate her body. She just felt tired. Tired of being different. Tired of being stared at. Tired of always having to be strong. Because sometimes she just wanted to be ordinary. There were nights she cried silently, so her parents wouldn't hear, so no one would worry. Because even strong people get tired of fighting. But something was growing inside her. Yet, inside Noor, something else was growing. A quiet determination, a voice, a fire, a desire to prove, I exist, I feel, I matter, I deserve to live fully. She didn't want pity. She didn't want special treatment. She just wanted a chance. The discovery of writing. One day, during class, the teacher gave an assignment. Write about your life. Simple for others, hard for Noor. But when she started writing, something strange happened. The words didn't stop. They flowed. All the pain she never said out loud came pouring onto the paper. She wrote about the hospital, her mother's tears, the stairs, the rejection, the loneliness, the strength she pretended to have. She wrote everything. For the first time, she didn't feel trapped. Her body couldn't move freely, but her words could. So she kept writing. At first, just for herself. Late at night, when everyone was asleep, she wrote about the days she felt like a burden. She wrote about the nights she cried silently. She wrote about her fears, but she also wrote about her mother, about Aisha's love, about the promise made in the hospital. You will live. That promise became her strength. When her voice reached others. One day, a teacher read one of her pieces. She was shocked. "This is beautiful," she said. She shared it with another teacher, then another. Then students read it. And something unexpected happened. People cried, not out of pity, but because they finally understood. They weren't seeing Noor's body anymore. They were seeing her heart. For the first time in her life, people didn't stare at her because she was different. They listened because she was powerful. Her words went places her body never could have. Her voice traveled farther than her legs ever would have. And Noor realized something life-changing. Maybe this is my strength. The world still tested her, but life wasn't done testing her. Just when things started feeling hopeful, another storm came, the biggest one yet. Her mother, Aisha, started getting sick. At first, it was small, fatigue, weakness, coughing. Then hospital visits, medicines, more silence in the house. The same woman who had carried Noor everywhere, who had fought the world for her, who had protected her from every insult, was now weak, fragile, tired. The roles slowly reversed. Noor couldn't hug her mother with arms, but she stayed beside her bed for hours, talking, joking, sharing memories, making her laugh, trying to give her strength the same way Aisha had given her strength for years. One night, Aisha held Noor's face gently and whispered, "You were the hardest and the most beautiful thing that ever happened to my life." Noor felt her heart crack. She didn't want to imagine life without her mother, but life doesn't ask permission. And soon, the day came. Aisha was gone. The house felt empty, too quiet, too cold. The woman who had been her shield, her courage, her entire world, was no longer there. For months, Noor felt lost. She didn't write, she didn't talk much, she didn't smile. She thought, maybe I can't do this without her. Maybe she was the only reason I kept fighting. She almost gave up. Almost. But then, one memory returned, clear as light. That hospital night, her mother's voice. "You will live, in your own way, but you will live." And Noor realized, if she stopped now, that promise would die too, and she could never let that happen. So slowly, through tears, through pain, she stood up again, not with legs, but with courage. After her mother's death, life felt meaningless. The house that once felt warm now felt empty, too quiet, too still, too lonely. Every corner reminded Noor of Aisha. The kitchen where her mother used to cook, the chair where she used to sit, the soft voice that used to say, "You're stronger than you think." Now, there was only silence, falling apart. For months, Noor stopped everything. She stopped writing, stopped studying, stopped smiling. Some days she didn't even want to get out of bed. She kept thinking, what's the point now? The one person who believed in me is gone. Why should I keep fighting? Grief is heavy, and for a moment, it almost crushed her. Remembering the promise. One night, she couldn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling in the dark, and suddenly, a memory came back. Clear, bright, like it happened yesterday. Her mother's voice in the hospital. You will live, in your own way, but you will live. Those words echoed in her heart, again and again and again. And Noor realized something. If she gave up now, everything her mother fought for, everything her mother sacrificed, would mean nothing. She couldn't let that happen. She wouldn't let that happen. Starting again. So slowly, very slowly, she picked herself up. She started writing again. At first, just small notes, then pages, then long stories. She wrote about grief, about loss, about missing her mother, about pain that feels endless. But she also wrote about hope, about strength, about surviving. One day, someone asked her during an interview, "What is the hardest part about living without arms and legs?" Everyone expected her to talk about physical struggles, but she calmly said, "It's not my body that's difficult. The difficult part is living in a world that believes there's only one right way to be human." The room went quiet. That line spread everywhere. News, articles, social media. Suddenly, people around the world knew her story. The baby doctors once called impossible was now inspiring thousands. The big question. During another event, someone asked her, "If you could choose, would you want to be born normal?" It was a heavy question. She thought about everything. The pain, the loneliness, the tears, the rejection, but also the strength, the love, her mother, the lives she touched. She took a deep breath and answered, "I would never choose pain, but I wouldn't erase who I became because of it, because this life made me who I am." Today, Noor lives independently, in her own way. She still writes, still speaks, still travels, still touches hearts, not because she overcame disability, but because she overcame the idea that she needed to be less to fit into the world. She isn't a miracle, she isn't magic, she is simply proof of love, persistence, courage, and a mother who refused to give up. Final message. And maybe that's what this story is really about. Not arms, not legs, not limitations, but courage. Because in the end, strength isn't about what your body can do. It's about what your heart refuses to quit.